Hello, everyone. This is Lisa Wozniak with Woz Marketing. Welcome to another edition of the Private Practice Owner of the Month. With me today is Chris Schuff of Love and Fire Nutrition. Is that right, Chris?
That's right, yeah.
And one of the things that I wanted Chris to talk about today is I noticed some really great stuff that he's doing with video on social media. And I believe is it just secluded to Facebook, or are you on other social media platforms with this video?
Started with Facebook.
With
that, yeah.
Okay, so folks, I really want you to be able to glean some information with what Chris is doing for his nutrition practice, because I think it's so exciting, and I love the idea in its simplicity and the extent and reach that he's getting as a result of it. He's doing a video series on Facebook that, for lack of a better title, I'm sorry if you have one that I haven't picked up on yet, but it's basically helping people to lose 1 million pounds. And Chris, I'll let you go ahead and take it from there. If you give folks just a little bit of a snippet about what this video series is, and then I'm going to jump in with a couple of questions about how you came to do that and the impact that it's having on your practice. But first, I wanted folks to understand what your video series is about.
Sure. The video series is really me just giving information away. I wanted to get the word out, and I didn't care how I did it. I didn't care if I wasn't making any money or if I didn't get any clients from it. I just wanted to start somewhere. And so my ultimate goal was to help America lose 1 million pounds. And so I said, okay, well, how am I going to start doing this? And I came up with that idea. And so I just kind of rolled with it from there. And it's all about weight loss tips, particularly in regards to mindset. What specializes people in weight loss and weight management, such as myself, is really not just the strategies. The strategies are fairly simple, and they're all really based on the same premise, but how to get people's mind wrapped around it, just like how to get people's mind wrapped around marketing. It's the same thing.
So what was going on in your practice that motivated you to come up with a concept like this brilliant concept that you've got?
No, thanks. I don't know if it's brilliant, but I do like it.
I think it's pretty brilliant, but
thanks, Lisa. So I have just gobbled up information on marketing, and I feel so similar to the clients that I work with in that they're always searching for more and more information, and I was applying things for 2 weeks, 4 weeks at a time, and then I'd be like, oh, it didn't work, and just like a weight loss dieter who gives a diet 2-week chance, when they come into my office, I'm like, that's not enough time, I'm sorry you didn't think you had results, but you probably were and you just didn't realize it. And so I took that concept and I said, what do I really like? And written media was not it. So I knew what I didn't want to do, which was written media. I am just a snail's pace at writing, but I love doing video. I love doing presentations. So I'm like, all right, well, what's the fastest way for me to get into video? And there we go. Facebook Live was it. And I knew Facebook has been wanting to promote their live audience feeds with their audience. And so as a result, I'm like, all right, cool. I can get an expanded reach because they're already trying to push it. And I love video, and live means I don't have to edit. So if I mess it up, big deal. I keep rolling. That's kind of how I arrived at Facebook Live. Yeah.
You know what I love so much about what you said is that you were able to find a way to market your practice within the confines of your personality type.
Mm-hmm.
You know yourself, you know what you're good at, you know what you like, you know what you can sustain over the long haul, and what you would try and maybe not be consistent with because it wasn't something that you enjoyed doing or that you felt like you could continue with. So I think that that's a critical point for people to understand, is that you found something that works within your personality type that you're happy with. So kudos to you for that.
Thanks. It wasn't fast, but I figured it out.
What kind of tools or measurements that would you or did you put in place that would determine your success? How do you know what's working? What kind of things are you using to measure?
Nothing. Initially, I was just doing it. I didn't even care if a single person watched. I just had to get it going. I didn't care. And if I was just preaching the space, at least I was doing it in a way I enjoyed rather than like trying to establish keywords and like all of that other marketing stuff that goes with written digital marketing. I said, you know what, let's just go with video digital marketing and I'll figure it out from there. And then I started seeing, okay, like, how can I generate more comments? How can I get more people's attention in that 3 seconds initially, right? Because that 3-second piece. So I played around with how many 3-second views I could get, how many 10-second views I could get. I played around with how many people's attention I could get with like the initial 3 seconds of doing something kooky. I experimented with that and focused all my energy there. And then I focused on how to drive content that people actually wanted to watch. And then I focused on how to title it, right? And so I'm never applying all of these things together because I just find it too overwhelming. Instead, I pick a piece like my intro, or I pick a piece here, or I pick, full video views or whatever it happens to be. And I just hyper focus on that. And then when I think I have a good idea of it, I move on and I try to incorporate it, all the things that I've done. But really, I'm always just building my knowledge at this point to just do it, because like I just got to make myself do it. And that's the biggest thing. That massive action over time is what I find, as well as I'm sure many people out there. It's like maintaining the consistent action. That's the key. And that's the most difficult part, in my opinion, as well.
Absolutely. I couldn't agree with you more. I mean, the main thing when you decide upon a marketing venue to attack is just to put yourself out there and do it. And the second part is consistency, doing it with a level of consistency that people, your followers, can grow to depend on. They can depend on the fact that you're going to be out there delivering this kind of content. And the third thing that you said that I really love is that, it's that whole how do you eat an elephant one bite at a time.
Yeah.
You decided on different parts of that overall marketing strategy that you chose, and you decided to focus on parts of it a little bit at a time, so that in the end you've got a whole picture and a system of like Facebook Insights and different things that you can utilize to measure, like you had talked about the number of followers and playing around with the title and all of the things that you can adjust over time that will allow you to know whether or not you're being successful and what is working and what isn't working. So I think that you just really hit on some critical points for people to understand that it doesn't have to be this big, overwhelming marketing strategy that, don't pretend you're Coca-Cola or Pepsi or McDonald's or Nike or whatever. Just be a private practice owner and tackle it one little bit at a time. So I would love for people to know, what impact has this had on your private practice?
I'm not particularly sure, but I am getting more calls, so that's good. I can't.
Well, that's a pretty big impact.
Yeah. I can't say that it's from one thing or from the other, but cumulatively, the things that I'm doing are working. Like one of my buddies said, "Hey, you gotta like start tying these videos to your website, man. Like Google is really starting to push like audience engagement in their SEO analytics and like how they're pushing you up the page." And so I said, okay, I'll start linking my page, and that was like one thing I did one week. How do I do that? And so I would definitely say that, yeah, like I struggled for a long time, like many people, either with weight loss or with marketing or anything. And finally I just said like, hey, consistent action, I'm going to stick with something, I'm going to do it. And sure enough, like people are starting to call more and more frequently. I would say, yeah, 300% increase at least on the number of calls I was getting, if not more. Actually, it's quite an impressive percentage.
Holy smokes, that is phenomenal. So what's next in your marketing journey? Are you gonna focus on getting that video on your website, or do you have other strategies now moving forward that you want to put in place? What's next?
Oh man, I mean, it's like the elephant thing, like whether, all the people that come into my office are like, hey, I want the perfect diet and I want this and I want that. I'm like, all right, well, what do you think is the best thing to start with that's going to give you the most bang for your buck? Like what's going to really be the easiest and gives you great results? And so I think I have like this whole like little agenda of things I want to start incorporating into the video. And just like I said, I'm like kind of picking at it, and I want to put all those together, and then eventually have it like cross placed at YouTube and at Facebook Live. That's my next step, because YouTube is Google, so I can start placing for their analytics there once I am able to broadcast live simultaneously with a pretty simple device. And then I'll also be able to start marketing on the audiences that I develop, not only with video views and forming custom audiences, and pushing like other remarketing ads is a big next thing I have, where if someone watches 75% of the video, they're interested, right? And when I start generating that audience, all of a sudden I give them the offer, hey, you know, I have a 10-week weight loss program. Are you interested? And I've already established credibility. I've already established expertise. I've already built a persona with them. They already know, like, and trust me. And then, you know, I'm not just throwing money into Google and into Facebook, but like just serving up a plate for someone who is really interested and who is ready for results and wants results now. I can help them find me, and it helps me find them.
That's so important for people to know. You don't have to continue to throw an endless pile of money into your marketing. You really don't. You can start small, and you can do a lot of the things that Chris had mentioned with retargeting and audience placement, all of those things that come into play that end up giving you a strong following and get your name out there for people to see. So smart of you, Chris. That's fantastic.
Thanks.
So what would you tell people who may be intimidated about taking on the marketing for their practice when they're already trying to manage a practice?
Yeah, that's a tough question. Wow. I was hoping you might have some advice on that one. I can't say I know what applies to everyone, but I really do focus it so much on what I do. Like I tell my clients, like, everybody thinks that weight loss is so easy. It's just like, I just got to lose weight, you know, and like, why can't I do it myself? I don't need help. But like, you kind of do, you know, like you're not an expert. You're not a weight loss specialist. You're not a dietitian. Like if I wanted to build a house, I wouldn't be like, yeah, you know, it's just some trees pasted together and I'll figure it out, you know. I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't try to build my own house. I tried to paint my RV recently, and that was a disaster. So learned my lesson there. And the same thing goes, like, man, if you're trying to learn something, just pick a tiny little piece of it. You really couldn't have said it any better with the elephant piece. Like, pick something that you're good at. Because when I was trying to do SEO with written, it was just like pulling teeth. I hate writing. I just hate it. And I'm just not good at it either, you know? But man, I can talk to people. I do it all day long. So pick something that you're really just stoked about. And Jules, my fiance, the question she's asking right now is, do I hate this? You know, she doesn't say if I love it. She, you know, because a lot of us don't really know what we're particularly loving, but we know what we hate. And so if you ask, hey, what do I hate this, or do I kind of like it? Am I curious about it?
Yeah.
And so if you say yes to the curious and no to the hate, well then pick that little piece and just start. Like I said, I do it live because there's no turning back. You know, it doesn't matter if it's perfect or if it's not. I can't edit, which saves me so much time, because like we're all perfectionists, and I'd spend like hours editing the video to be just right, and really nobody would even notice the difference except for me. So,
people are very forgiving when it comes to video in particular. They're a little more critical with the written word, you know, because I don't know, because we're all visual, maybe, I don't know, but they tend to be a little bit more critical over the written word than it is for somebody who's just putting themselves out there on video, you know.
sure.
And the thing that I love so much about what you said when it comes to, you know, undertaking something like marketing is just like weight loss, you know, start small. Pick one thing that you can change in your life and be consistent about it. And consistency is key. You know, just like you had said at the beginning of the interview, you talked about somebody who had tried weight loss and it's only been 2 weeks and they haven't seen the results. It's the same thing in marketing. If you're going to try it And, well, I put all these posts on social media for 2 weeks and nothing happened, so I'm going to quit. And don't you often wonder if people are quitting just before the breakthrough is about to happen?
Just before the plant peeks through and finally reaches the sky. Yeah.
Yeah. So, well, listen, congratulations on all your success, Chris. I could not be more happy for you. Can you tell folks how they can reach you if they have more questions, want to learn more about what you do?
Absolutely. Yeah. You can find me at loveandfirenutrition.com. I work completely remotely, supporting like an RV lifestyle kind of thing right now as I travel. And so I work completely remotely. And if you ever feel like you could use a hand in weight loss or weight management, just remember the goal is weight maintenance. It's not to lose weight forever. And if you need somebody to help you out along the journey, I am offering a discount on my 10-week package right now for anybody who mentions your name, Lisa, because you're so near and dear to my heart. And I do have availability coming up in June, but I'm actually already booked all the way through May.
So folks can get that offer at loveandfirenutrition.com.
You got it. Just schedule a curiosity call up at the right-hand corner and mention that you found me through Lisa, and I'll give you a pretty decent discount, about 25% actually.
25%, that's fantastic. Curiosity call, I love that.
Thanks.
From the marketing guru himself, I love that, the curiosity call. Well, listen, thanks, Chris, so much for allowing folks to learn from what you're doing and what's working out there, and appreciate your time. And God bless you on your RV adventure. I just think that's so great. Anybody take your business on the road and thrive from it is got my backing 100%. So
appreciate it, Lisa.
safe
And I thank
travels,
you for
my
everything.
friend.
Take care.
All right, bye now.